Hello and welcome, it's Pete from Pete's Retro Collectibles. You may have forgotten about me or thought I've fallen off the edge of the earth. Well, I haven't been anywhere. I've been stuck in my garage cleaning up and tidying for the last, month and a half. Christmas was alright, mainly because I had a really good September and October and November where people were buying early because, well, they've been told by the press they weren't going to get their stuff from eBay. You know what I mean? So, although I had minimal delays on the stuff I got posted, it was dropping off by about the 11th of December. I decided to close my shop fairly early, 16th, last closing date, and not ship until 29th. So I had 12 days off, and then 1 day to wrap everything that was sold during that period, and then send it all out on the 29th. I had mediocre sales over the Christmas break. Sent them all out and then started tidying up, relisting and basically recovering from Christmas. I had a lovely 12 days off. I spent the time basically relaxing, seeing family, the usual, and came back and did my accounts in time for handing it into the accountant in January. I use a chartered accountant. I know loads of people go on about websites and QuickBooks and using one that's used to that sort of thing. I've used my accountant for 20 odd years, and every time he puts my accounts in, there's no problem with them. It's as simple as that. I'm paying probably £100 too much per year if I was to use a website. But there's that veneer of the fact that it's a chartered accountant and a big firm, I might add. He's the small business arm that runs his own small office, but he's affiliated with a huge firm, and yeah, it helps. So I'm willing to pay that. Plus, of course, I get to talk out any problems with him on a tax basis once or twice a year, and it's important to know these things. Right, it's Monday morning. This is only a quick summary, so what I'm going to do is tack this onto what I found in the last week and a half. Yeah, it's 2 car boots actually, and a little charity shopping. And well, there was a half car boot the week before, and I'll show you what I bought. There wasn't a lot actually, but that's later in the video. Right now I'm going to show you what I'm sending out today. There's not a lot. There's 4 items. I sold 5 over the weekend. I normally send things out on a Saturday morning as well. Well, Saturday lunchtime. My post office doesn't shut till 1:30 on a Saturday now. So I just get the stuff ready for lunchtime, send it out. Anything bought before lunchtime gets wrapped. Except for this, which was bought late last week, and I've still got this. This is going out on next Saturday at the request of the buyer. It's a Brother PT800 typewriter. So that was 50 quid, 49.99. And it's going to a school. Who are on half-term next week, so they only want delivery after that. So there's only 4 things to post today. Luckily they're all good money. Well, the average is a good money. There's one that isn't. Yeah, I'll start with the let me see. Start with the first one I sold after the typewriter, and that's a BT phone charger, £7.95 delivered, but it cost me 75p, so you know. That literally sold from last week. I bought this Wednesday, sold on Friday. Well, yeah, between Friday when I sent my stuff out and can't have been Friday, Saturday afternoon and today. So it's probably Saturday afternoon. won't put it back in its box, but it comes from this box here, which is full of stuff like this. and it's literally full of stuff like that. This is breaking the rules that I've set myself for the rest of the year, but I find that I have to break rules sometimes because this is just easy, you know, 3 or 4 photos, bang it onto a listing I've already got, change the number. This is a 066270. Well, BT ones have a 6-figure number, charges, and yeah, if I can pick them up for £1 or £2 and sell for £7.95, I'm going to do it. Actually, I want to pay the £1 for this because it didn't have a phone with it. Normally I'm looking for £2 for a phone and charger, so I can sell the handset or the base, or if it's a multiple, say there's 3 handsets, £6, so that's £2 for each handset and charger. Right, next was this lovely Denby casserole. Really clean, spotless in fact. It looks like it's never been used, and it says Denby. Can you read that? Is that focused up? I think so. £4.14. No, sorry, £4.15. The lady who deals with the pottery in my local charity shop, it's only 3 doors down from my post office, so I normally pop in every time I drop something off at the post. She's always apologising because they keep putting the prices up, and she says if it doesn't go in the first week, I like go and put all the prices down. I wish they'd do that over in the video side, the video game side. They've got stuff in there that's £5.5, £3.25. I would like to be buying in for that side. But saying that, I'm trying to avoid things for like under a £5 to sell for £10 or £15. I'm trying for £20 plus or £25 plus. Well, this was £4.15 to me on Friday, listed on Friday night, sold on Saturday for £19.99 plus £7 postage. £7.99 postage. Okay, next, something that, like I said, I'm trying to clear out all my small stuff so I can get to the large stuff that I've still got in big piles of junk, and I keep coming across stuff that I've had for maybe a year and a half. This is one of those Kenwood high speed juice separator A923. Very lightly used in the 80s and then packed away, you know, and it's been there ever since. It's got dusty and it's got like oil ridden and the box is rotten, but the manual's inside. It was all in its plastic bags and it's got its foam on round it, sorry, cardboard around it, and yeah, that's gone for £22.95 plus £6 postage. So that's been on a side in my garage for nearly 2 years, and you know what, I've got another 3 or 4 pieces just like this that came with a scrap Kenwood mixer. I've actually got the mixer down there. I've just put that on as well for £25 for spares. It's a bit grindy, and the paint's flaking off from underneath and the sides, so it needs either full renovation, which time wise it's not really worth doing, but if you're into that sort of thing, that's fair enough. Or somebody even inquired about whether the switch worked fine. It all works fine except the gearbox sounds a bit grindy. Somewhere in the gears it's a bit grindy, so I've put it down as not working. And then the last one was, well, it's hard to show you the last one. This. I told you it was hard to show you because it's bubble wrapped already. I put it away bubble wrapped so that it wouldn't get damaged during storage. It says frosted lucite acrylic art deco figure of a couple ballroom dancing, and I'll show you the picture on the item on my phone. It makes more sense that way. because I'm not unpacking it. There you go. Let me get that focusing in. There you go. It's plastic. It's plastic. But it's from the late 70s, early 80s, and it's signed. And it's on a perspex base as well, plastic, acrylic, lucite, perspex, whatever you want to call it. Most of these are sold to the American market, so they're sold as frosted lucite. And yeah, it's very nice. But because it's plastic, people don't really value it. Well, I had this one and a scantily clad dancing girl on a sort of wave. Well, it's actually not a dancing girl, it's like a representation of the goddess Athena, or the one that's based with the water anyway. And they're both Italian, from the late 70s, early 80s. That one went for £31.50. This one was £28.99. Now the thing about, I keep saying to myself, I'm not going in my local charity shop anymore because it's full of junk items that are £1 and £2, and lots of glassware for 50p, and like DVDs and books. And women's clothes. I'm not into women's clothes. I know a lot of people do, and I'm not knocking that. I just like haven't got an eye for it, and I don't want to sift through hundreds and hundreds of dresses on a daily basis. It's just not my thing. So I go in there now. They've stopped selling anything electrical, any games console, anything that's got to have a pat test. They send it to a central home-based electrical place that you've got to go there specially in the chain of the local hospice shops it is. So I keep saying to myself, I'm not going to go in, but when you can get things like this 2 for £5 and sell them, and it's added up to £60, then I'm going to. And if it means dropping my head in for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, whenever I go to the post office, I've got to lower my expectation, expect to not buy anything maybe once a week, you know. But for instance, for this, it's just a matter of knowing that it's the right value. They sell a lot of Denby, and surprisingly, most of the time for a cup and saucer it's like £2.50, and they might have the full set, and they're expecting to sell it either separately or for somebody to come in and spend 40-50 quid on it. This was a loose separate item, and they put a reasonable price on it, and yeah, somebody who wanted that specific item has bought it off me immediately, same night, well, next day. So that's what I'm wrapping now, and then I'm going to take you in the front room and film what I bought yesterday, midweek when I went to some charity shops, and then a Wednesday Carboot, which was only small, and then last Sunday. So it's 3 Carboots. Well, I would say 4 because I went to 2 yesterday. But the first 2 Carboots were very small. So, you know, you'll see what I've got. I've got some really nice stuff yesterday, to show you today. So stick around till later in the video. One thing I won't be doing is having any overlays of pictures because my editing is really bad. What I will do is just tack this on live with mistakes to the next one. Welcome back. I've picked some stuff that I bought not last Sunday, which is yesterday, but the one before that, which is 8 whole days ago. I've still got most of it because I'm still in a backlog situation where I'm wrapping and listing things from 2 weeks ago, except for the low-hanging fruit that's really easy to list. I have actually sold some of the stuff on this list already, and so I will show you either a representation of it or the actual item. So here we go. Number 1, Grandma Shack. This is North Cave and Hull combined. There was only about, I think there was probably 6 cars when I went to North Cave and 12 when I left. I got there before it was dark, before it was light. It was still dark. Went through these 6 cars that were there. Nothing much really. One of the other resellers that I know had already picked a couple of video games up and some controllers. So, you know, I'm not really concerned either way, quite honestly, because he's very specialised in that. He does that and kids' toys. Reminds me of other people, but I do mix and match my stuff, as you know. So, first things first, this is going to be a fairly quick rundown because I've got to clear it all out and do another one next Sunday, and a couple of bits in between. Granite mortar and pestle, nice and light, as you can see. Obviously it's not, it's made of granite. That's just the box, but it came in a box, which is nice. Here we are, stone ground mortar. I think that's the mortar and that's the pestle. Anyway, I've bubble wrapped that one. They go in the box. Done some really nice photographs for that. It looks brand new. I don't think it's being used. So I've got it up for 20 quid, I think. Might be 18. Cost me 4. I'll put that down out of the way and I'll put that on top of the box. It's got some nice padding in the box to protect it. So next was some Nerf. Don't normally buy Nerf, but it has to be, it has to be cheap is what I'm going to say, but quite honestly I paid up for this. I paid too much, I think. There's this one which is Rampage, but it doesn't have the shoulder stock, which is worth a lot more than the gun, I think, as far as I know. The Mega, which is real nice. I'll try to avoid the camera, but it's like a shotgun shell, and it sometimes sends 2 out. I'm not sure whether it's meant to, but it normally sends 1. Oh, maybe it does send 2 every time. Anyway, I've only got 6 bullets, so I'll put it down there for that one. 6 bullets out of 10, it takes 10. 4 magazines, and loads of bullets. And in fact the magazines are full of bullets, but they're all pretty naff. They've been run through the machines too much and they're a bit skew with. Quite honestly, I think the blue one keeps jamming, and I think it's because it's had all these non-Nerf bullets with very soft tips instead of the Nerf bullets have quite hard tips to go through the plastic properly. Well, these keep jamming, and then look, the tips come off that one and it's broken. So I've got 400 Nerf compliant in the garage. No, I'm actually probably only about 270 left because the last gun I sold had about 100 with it. It was an easy sale with 100 extra bullets. So that's that. That one cost £12 for the pack, for the bundle. I should get 12 for just this one plus delivery. So everything else was extra. The cartridges, what we call magazines, go for £3 or £4 each. So I'll probably do a bundle, unless I can get the Predator working really well, in which case I might put the magazines with the Predator and sell it like that. Right, next was this bundle here. Lady wanted £6 for each of these. This is a Sony ICF CD radio cassette. No, it's not. There's no cassette. CD and radio alarm clock. It's all working fine. And then a DVD player, SR760H. She wanted £6 for each of these, and that was a bit much really. I explained to her that I bought one of these for £3 in its box the week before, I got that from a tip shop and I sold it 2 days later because it was already region free. So I got that and I sold it 2 days later in its box with its manual and its packing and a remote control, obviously remote control, and that cost 4 and sold for, I think it was 20. Anyway, I said to her, would you take 3? And she was a bit miffed actually. Anyway, when I saw that, I combined them together and she wanted £6 for each of them, but I got them both for 8. And I think that was pretty reasonable really. I won't make a fortune on either of them, but you know, it's better than nothing. As I say, the pickings was quite slim. Yeah, when I say slim, that's all there was at North Cave. That was it. That was all there was for me, really. So I went to Hull. It was about half the size of normal. Quite big in other words, but it was all clearance traders. There was nobody selling household goods at all. So what did I get? I got a skybox for £1. You know, I'm not willing to pay much more than that now. Maybe £1.50, maybe £3 for 2, that sort of thing. The reason being is I haven't sold one since before Christmas, and I've got 3 listed with a remote control, with a power lead, with either SCART or HDMI cable, and they're just not selling. I've got them ranging from £14 to £16 depending on what's with it, and they're just not shifting. I sold quite a few before Christmas, but out of the 9 or 10 that I listed between sort of November and December, I've still got 3 and they're just, nobody's even viewing them. So I think I've got to accept the fact that now if I buy one, it's literally just for the hard drive. And that's an example of the hard drive you get inside one. It's a 3.5 inch, quite thick, you know, the old desktop type. But it's 500 gigabytes, so it's worth buying them in for £1 or £2, because these will sell for like £6 to £8 plus postage. Sometimes it's £8 including postage on eBay. Yeah, not a great deal of profit. So anyway, went to Hull and I bought 2 power supplies. One of them you've already seen in the video earlier on. The other one looks very similar, and it's for a Canon camera. And they cost £1.50 for the 2 of them. I'm not going to bother showing you that. Then I got one of these, Guitar Hero, and as you can see this one's an empty box as well. I will show you what you get inside one. Try not to scoop anything up, but there's a big pile of stuff that just fell across there. Right, there you go. In its bag, with its thing and its neck, but these are for iOS, iPad, iPhones, 6 Plus iPhones, so not early ones, iPod Touch, believe it or not, but iPads as well. There is a leaflet that's fallen out the bag. There we go. And it's just basically a download. It says you can download it from iTunes to play it on your phone or your iPad, and that's it. Well, I saw a big pile of them on this clearance guy's thing, and asked how much they were, and it's like £3 each. And I'm like, really, £3? Yeah. That was the girl who works for him told me it was £3. Anyway, I said to her, you've got 3 there, how much for all 3? And she's like, well, £9. And I'm like, no, you're meant to be giving me a discount. Anyway, I went over to the guy and I said to him, look, you've got the 3 there, will you give me a decent price for them? And he like, a £5 for the 3. I'm like, £1.66 each. Yeah, all right, okay, that sounds to me pretty good. Well, they're selling for about £15 delivered. So it's like £1.60 into 12. I'm all right with that. It's like a £7 profit on each one. Because they're big, they'll have to go by Hermes, but they're very light, even with the box as well. Probably 1600 grams. So it'll go as an under 2 kilo parcel. So that's not too bad. Then I got a remote control. No, sorry, I didn't get that remote control then. It says Iowa, and this one says Iowa, that's why I was looking at it. So that's not till after this. Another hard drive. This one was £3 though. It's for an Xbox 360. I paid a bit much really, it should have been £2. But I was trying to get in with this guy. He had a big pile of Xbox 360s, which were obviously scrap. No fronts on them, no power supplies, no controls. And I mean, I know the look of them because I've got a big pile of about 25 of them in the garage. And I said to him, what do you want for your scrap Xboxes? 20 quid for the 4. And I'm like, really? Anyway, I bought this off him. And I said to him, he says, oh, are you interested in hard drives? Because I've got a big lot of them and skyboxes. So I'm like, yeah. Bring them next week and I'll leave them in the back of the car. I'll come round and I'll just have the lot off you. But it's got to be the right price. And the right price to me is like £1 each. So he's like, oh really? Can you do a bit more than that? I said, if you strip them out of the skyboxes, I'll give you £2 each. So anyway, he said he'd pop round, he'd be there. I said, I'll come round your place if you want. But he says, oh no, I'll see you next week. Fair enough. Anyway, next person was another hard drive, but it was similar to this. This is out of the skybox, but I can't show you it because I've already sold it. It was a Hitachi, and it was in one of those hard drive enclosures, but it didn't say on the front or the back what size it was. And I said to the guy, it could be 160 gig, 320, 2 terabyte, it could be anything. So he said, oh, well, I said, £1. And he was like, I think he started at 3, and I said, well, it might only be 160 gig, because it looks like an old box. And he didn't have the power supply or anything, it was just the box. I'd have to rip it open to find out. And it might not work anyway. So I said, I'll gamble, I'll give you £1 for it. And he's like, okay then. I said, I'd rather gamble on something like that than horses, you know what I mean? And we had a laugh about that. Anyway, the next thing I saw on his stall was this. Iowa XP R650 CD player. Nice box this. So I thought, oh, it must be in good condition inside. Manual, power supply, CD player, warranty information. Absolutely pristine. It doesn't look like it's been played. Now, it must have been played at some point because the wires were a bit skew with. I've cleaned them up and tidied them up. They weren't dirty, I meant just, you know, made them look brand new. And it wasn't in its like original dust bag or anything. So, yeah, but it's absolutely pristine. If it has been played much, they've really looked after it. In my opinion, they've played it a couple of times and then put it away in a box and put it in a cupboard. There's one exactly the same model without the box in a bit of a scratched up condition for about £50 on eBay. I didn't look them up at that point. I just said to him, how much is it? And he's like, oh, it's got to be a £5. I said, well, I've just spent £1 with you. Just throw that in and I'll give you a £5. Okay. So I got this for £4. which is nice. I've listed this for $99.99. We'll see what happens. You never know. Somebody who has had this model, this exact model, I find that a lot of the time it's somebody who wants to replace a model that's gone wrong, or had that when they were younger, the exact model, and really liked it. It plays radios. Doesn't play radios. It plays CDs. It tunes into the radio as well as the CD, and it's recharging batteries as well. If you plug it into the power, it'll recharge NiCads or nickel metal hydride batteries. The only thing with nickel metal hydride batteries is they can overcharge in a NiCad circuit, because there isn't normally, I only found this out recently, there isn't the same, in the NiCad circuit, there isn't the same current protection there is in the nickel metal hydride chargers circuits. I've never distinguished between the two, and I used my old NiCad chargers to charge my new nickel metal hydride AA's. I use a lot of AA's for me remote controls, my consoles, things like that. So I do have rechargers. I've got off topic, haven't I? This was meant to be quick. The CD player, hard drive in the box, and then I got two digital cameras. This one, very old, 2 megapixel, and this one, which is a lot newer, another Finepix, just the same, Fuji Finepix, but this one's, I think this is 12, it might even be 14. 14, very small lettering down there. And this one works fine. There you go, you can see. The only problem with this one is there's a bit of a scratch and mark on the screen, and it's gone through to the back, so you can't really get rid of it. So it's got a discoloured screen. It wouldn't affect taking the photographs, so it's going to devalue it. But anyway, I paid £2 for that one and £2 for that one, and then I saw this little container on the same guy's table, and it was one of these memory cards. Well, the reason I paid £2 for this is because it had a 64 megabyte smart card, smart media, and this case had a 16 smart, so I paid £1 for that. And this one had the battery, obviously, because it's running, and a 16 megabyte SD card. Oh, sorry, 64 megabyte SD card in this one. So 3 cards and a battery and 2 dud cameras. This actually is a decent camera, quite honestly. There's a few scratches here and there on it, and like I said, there's a scratch on the screen at the back, but I'm tempted to sell that as a going concern with the battery in. The battery's about 12, so if I can get 18 for the camera with the battery in, I'd be happy. Right, that's that. Oh, and the last one. Actually, I jumped one. A Humax PVR with a remote control and an LG DVD CD player. This is very old. Doesn't even have a SCART on the back. I'm not sure why. I mean, I would have thought that even something that was brought out in 2013 would have a SCART on the back. I think it was 2000 or something, or before 2000 that SCART came out. I couldn't understand if it didn't have HDMI on the back, but it doesn't have either. It's just got RCA outputs, which is a bit weird for the age. and it doesn't have a remote. This was basically a throw-in though. I paid £4 for the PVR and £1 for this, so you can't grumble really. £1 for a DVD player, CD player. It plays USB sticks, or at least it would if I had a way to turn on the USB stick. You need a remote for that sort of thing. I think the remotes are about £6, so I'd basically be reselling the remote if I bought one to sell it. I think I'll probably try and sell it as is. Just a minute. On the basis that somebody could get a remote, I could probably sell it for £5 without any trouble. It cost £1, you know. Right, that's last Sunday's. I did a few charity shops on Wednesday, and then I came to next Sunday. Oh, I did the charity shop. You saw the casserole dish I bought on Friday and sold on Saturday. So I won't show you that now, but I'm going to show you this lot when I've cleared the table and started it fresh. It's not going to take long. And in the meantime, yeah, I'll just do Wednesday's pickups, and then I'll do Sunday's pickups. It's been 22 minutes, far too long. This is going to end up as a marathon catch-up. Well, you know, such is life. You don't have to watch it all in one go. You can pause it, go away, eat your tea, come back. Alright, and I'm back. Unfortunately, I had to change the battery, change the table. You know how it is. 2 minutes turns into half an hour or so, plus another 30 seconds to microwave the coffee because it had gone cold in the meantime. So, this is Wednesday, and then I'm going to do Sunday. So I'm going to blast through this one. There is literally a few things in front of me on the table. Bush cassette player. I don't have it to show you because it's already sold. I bought it for £3. Looked really nice. It had a power supply, so £3 wasn't bad. It was lovely looking, no scratches, no nothing, like it had just come out of the box. Got it home, tested it, plays tapes. Doesn't record. It had a USB socket where you put your USB stick with the MP3s in. Wouldn't play those. Light didn't come on when the USB player was meant to change over. There was a little switch, you switched it over, light didn't come on. Press the button, nothing happened. No sound. Power supply turned out to be the wrong one, so I tried it out with batteries. It did play with the old power supply that was with it, but it was a 5V 2 amp, which is your standard like barrel jack power supply for modern things. This was a 6V 600 milliamp power supply it needed, and I think it was a bit underpowered because of the voltage. It only draws, if it wants 600 milliamp, it only draws 600 milliamp. So I looked up the specs, and it's like a 1 watt speaker in it. Anyway, I put it on eBay for £5, spares a repair, and says, look, it plays tapes. If you want it for tapes, fair enough. And I kept the power supply, because that actually is a really useful power supply. So we're calling it £1.15 to £5, sold overnight. In fact, actually, it sold the same night I put it on, and it's gone. So it must have been, because I sent it out on Friday, so it must have been Thursday night. I think so, yeah, because I won't have listed it the same day. Normally I don't get down to it. So that was £3. Alright, now I'm going to blast through the rest. Paperweights. Saw a guy selling them, he wanted £3 each. I got 5 and I got discounts. Got £11 for the 5. So the first one was this one, which is really very nice. It's a ring spike more than anything. They call them paperweights, but you you put them on your dressing table. And I suppose you could call that a drop because it's that shape, but it's designed to put things on, like rings. Then there's a nice flower one. There you go, flowers. It's like a crocus, very designed like a crocus. In fact, you could say that was after a crocus. They're all, I would say they were all Italian, but I couldn't tell you whether they're all like Venetian or anything. That's nice. Then there's this one with a nice big controlled bubble in the middle and like waves of different colours, yellow, red, blue, green, through the middle of it. Again, it's a ground off base, but this one's signed. So I might look this one up. It says CUG on it, so who knows. Then there's this one, which is very much similar to the ones I had before Christmas. By the way, I had 26, I think, before Christmas, and I'm down to 14, so 12 sold. Actually, I sold 2 this month. No, 2 in January and 1 this month. 1 was last week. So that's not too bad. So that was probably 10 or 11 in December and a couple in January and 1 in February up to now. But when I put these on, they might go, this is flaked gold over a green and yellow, sort of green and white base. And then there's a sort of spidery, flowery red thing. And controlled bubbles all the way around them. They are actually sort of in lines, but not particularly well put into lines. But it's nice, that one. It's very nice. And then there's another crocus style with stamens. Very clever. I mean, and it's got little green sort of flower postil bits on the bottom there. So that wasn't bad. And the bigger ones, probably I'll be looking for 16 quid. And then if somebody gives me an offer, you know, I mean, they owe me just over £2 each. £2.40, I suppose. Yeah, because there's 5 of them. I got a bottle of linseed oil for £1 off a Clear and Sky. And then I got some video games. I actually only wanted the one game, which was this one. Resident Evil Outbreak, which is a tenner. And I offered him £1 for that. And he's like, oh, don't you want any of the others? And I'm like, well, not really, no. And he's like, oh. Anyway, I looked through them. And this lot here are all empty. Yeah, that one's empty as well. Oh no, that's not empty, that one. That one's got a disc in. So that's a demo disc off a video game magazine. These are all empties, but the cases are okay. And then the rest of them have actually got games in, but not particularly brilliant games or anything. Oh, and that's a A to Z solution for Tomb Raider 3 and Spyro and FIFA 99. Oh, and Abe's Odyssey. So there's some sort of value in that, I'm not sure what. And these 3 games aren't bad actually. So what I was going to do was have 2 for 50p, and then he said, what about £3 for all of them? And I'm like, yeah, alright. I was definitely going to have that, and I would have paid £2 easy for that one. So Enter the Matrix, Hitman Blood Money, Spider-Man 2. They've got games in them. Then there's a manual, a demo disc, Final Fantasy 11, and like a few other games. And then there's the empties in that book. So I think I would go for, you know, £1 for that lot without any trouble at all. So that was £3. A hard drive. This isn't it. It's already packed up in anti-corrosion, not anti-corrosion, anti-static bag that I had lying around for £1, 250 gig. And then I got a Bush Freeview recorder for £3, and this is it. Basically, they have a hard driving, you know what I mean? And that's a 320. And then I went to the charity shops on the way back from that Carboot. As I said, it was very small, very quiet. And I got a grow clock. This isn't it. This is a visual aid. This is the one that I bought on Sunday. One of the ones I bought on Sunday. This one costs, no, the one that it's representing costs £3.25, but I've already sold it. And then I also got a grow bag egg. They used to be called grow eggs, but everyone seems to call them grow bag eggs, and it says grow bag egg on this one. It's just the updated model. I think they sold the company, but I think all the grow stuff now is, or at least it was for a while, part of the Tommy Tippy, because it used to be called a Tommy Tippy grow clock, and it's not. It's called a grow clock now. So I think they might have sold it off to another person or another company anyway. This one was £1.75. They had 4 of these in at the charity shop, and the others were all £3.50, and I'm like, why is this £1.75? Does it not work properly? And it's like, no, it works fine. Plugged it in, no problem. I don't get it. One thing I have noticed about this one is there's no pat test on it, and they normally pat test everything they put out before they put it out. So maybe the stickers come off. Oh, there it is. There we go. 12th of January. So this was from the 8th of February. So it's taken a month to sell this for £1.75. And they've got 3 others on the shelf for £3.50. I don't understand it. I really don't. But there again, they're the sort of place where you can buy a light for £3.50 that'll sell for £25, but something that is worth £15, they want £6 or £7 for. Anyway, that's Wednesday. Now I'm going to do Sunday. This Sunday, it was a lot better. It's me again, by the way. Same coffee. Unfortunately, it's gone cold again. I microwaved it. I will take a sip because otherwise I might not even get through it before it's so stewed. Let's not get into that. Right, I'm going to say Sunday was a lot better. In both of the car boots I went to, there was a lot more people turned up. I didn't turn up till after it was light, and normally I'm finished with Hull before 10, and it was actually after 11. I did hang around a bit longer and go around a lot more stalls. Well, I went around the same stalls a lot more times. So my local one is about 8 miles away. By the time I got there, it was about 7:20. And you know, late to the party. In the summer, I'm there at 5:30. So first things first, I got this stack of kitchen containers with like fruits on. These two are very nice, very clean, and very nice lids, nice colourful fruit on, as you can see. This one, not so much, it's a bit darker. The fruit's a bit faded from the sun, and the lid's very worn and dirty because they stack inside each other. Let me show you. This one goes inside this one. This one goes inside both of them. The lids go on top. And so the inside ones are real clean because they've never been used by the look of it. And then this one's all dirty. So, don't know really. I might just sell the interior ones. They cost £1, so, you know, good start. I saw these 2 items. Both of them are grow clocks. Bit unusual, these. They've got rubber outsides This is the one I showed you earlier, but with the rubber put back on. They've got like space alien design. There you go. Actually, you can't really see it very well unless I whip the wires off. There we go. Little white, yellow sort of space alien Pikachu style with like ears there, and then one with 3 eyes. And I don't know what that is, meant to be a belt or something, and a little alien spaceship. And I said to her, what about a couple of quid each? And she's like, no, £4 each. I think she started at £5 each. And I'm like, normally I pay £1 or £1.50 for these. I've sold loads of them. And she's like, well, the rubber cases make them worth a lot more. Really? Are you kidding me? What? Anyway, I looked it up and she's right. They go for like 19 quid with these rubber cases on. So I give her £3.50 each, £7 for the two. Which is way up for one of those. I've paid plenty of times, just paid £1 for them. But, you know, if they're willing, I'll clean them. Those rubber, they're all dirty. But they'll clean up, they both work. Right, let's move that box, this little wooden box, and my phone out of the way. So, first thing I always try and do is whip around and have a look at all the electricals, because there's a really good margin in some of them. So I saw this Panasonic Blu-ray. I said to the guy, how much do you want? And he said 8. But I got it for £5, so it's not too bad. It's a really nice one actually. It's got LAN capabilities. They're a bit long. Because of the way it's quite long, by the time I like to have 3 or 4 centimetres of packaging all the way around it, including both ends. So you're looking at a large parcel. So, you know, that little bit more expensive, or you have to send it every. The Royal Mail would charge you, I think it's £4.35 instead of £2.85. And then I got a Goodman's. Did I get this off the same guy? No, it was a different stall. Goodman's Freeview recorder. This one's the version with the 320 gig hard drive, I believe. Yes, it's a 32 on the end. And that cost me £4. That'll record, you know, all your digital TV without having, you know, discs or anything. And then I bought a double CD album off a guy, Rock Anthems. It's nothing special, quite honestly. I might not even keep it, the CDs. I bought it because of the case. If you might have seen one of my videos before Christmas when I was talking about buying PlayStation 1 cases and sending them in so they get cracked in the post. People still send us. I bought one last week, and they sent it to me in a bubble envelope. Quite luckily, no, it's actually they sent it in a plastic bag, a mailing sack, without any padding, and quite luckily, it didn't get cracked. And the reason it didn't get cracked is because it was tight enough to hold the doors shut, the case, the bag. And it had a big manual and 4 discs inside. It was a 4-disc game. So it was padded, it was fully padded. There was nothing to sort of crack into it. But if it had landed wrong when the postman put it through the door, it could have easily cracked it. As it is, this cost me 50p, and I'll listen to it. There's some good actual tracks on it. And then I'll use it for CD kit, PlayStation 1 games. Because I've been buying quite a few on auction. You know, if I can get them for like 2 or 3 quid for a double CD cased fat box game, or more. I mean, the last one I bought was, I think it was £8.14 delivered. for one with 4 discs. So yeah, quite a complicated game. Very good value. Right, what was that? Oh yes, next. Humax DVD recorder. Sorry, not DVD recorder. PVR TV recorder preview. This is the Fox 2 version. Fox T2. And I'm not sure what the hard drive is. I've got to test it. It could be 320. It could be 500. It could be 1 terabyte. And they even do an upgraded version with 2 terabytes in. It could be any of those. It's a gamble. I paid £8 for it. If it works, it's worth it, even if it's got the small version of the hard drive in. And if it's got the hard drive in that's got the big version in, it could be well worth over 100 quid. Who knows? I think there's people trying to sell refurbished 2 terabyte versions for like 180 quid. None sold in the last 3 months though. Right, where was it? Alright, Amiga floppy drive. Guy says to me, I don't know what it is. And anyway, it had a couple of Amiga games with it, and it's got this serial connection on the back. It's got a through serial socket, if I can get it off, like that, and a cable with a serial connector that sticks in the back of your Amiga, or possibly Commodore. It's a Qmana floppy drive. Cost me £1, so I thought I'd try it out. Don't know whether it works. Don't really care. It'll sell for spares if it doesn't work. I can't really test it, so I'll probably just sell it for spares, as in spares, untested, sold for spares. Yeah. Then there was a BT Duet 210. Brand new in its case. I hate the way that they've written new on it. Cost me £2, but should sell for 14 or 15. It is all new packed in its. They don't use bubble wrap or plastic in these. It's all wrapped in tissue paper. I'll put that on the end of there. Ooh. Next, I saw this lady who was, I don't know whether they were doing house clearances or they were just clearing their own old stock, but they had a van, big white van, and it was just an old couple. And I thought, oh, it's a bit weird to have a big white van when you're just an old couple. You know, they normally turn up in hatchback, don't they? When I say old, I mean, I'm 50 odd last week actually. And they were at least 30 years older than me, between them each. So anyway, I got this off them, and I had a look at it, and she said, everything on the table, not on the table, everything on the blanket is £1. And I'm like, do you realise there's a goblin teas made in the middle of the blanket? Oh yeah, that's £1. Goblin teas made. Didn't have the lid. Didn't have the instructions. They were in the van. But it did have a little stand for itself, a kettle, and a teapot. And you can tell it's the older type because it's plastic. There you are, plastic. And since the early 70s, they've been using ceramic. So, not a problem. There's like warning instructions on it. There's no timer, it's just a switch, which means you have to get out of bed, or the idea is to have it on your bedside table so you don't have to go downstairs to make breakfast in bed, or tea in bed I suppose, and just flick it on when you get up. So there's no timer and there's no clock involved in this one. As I said, it's one of the old ones, and it's a 852 number, and it's also got its polystyrene container. So I think that's like the 70s. I'm not certain for that. But I wasn't going to let it go for £1. I mean, you know, she was happy to let it go for £1 herself. So maybe it doesn't work and she's already tested it doesn't work. I don't care for spares, it's worth that. Well worth it. On the same blanket there was this Canon PowerShot A3200IS camera. Really nice. Nice looking camera. So I turned it on and it came on. I'm like, sure you want to sell this for £1? Oh yeah, it's all £1. Fair enough. And it's got, obviously, a Canon original battery and a memory card. It's only 4 gig. Not bad for £1. With an AV cable. Don't think it's got a charging cable, but I'm sure I could find a cable for it. Or if you've seen, oh no, I haven't shown you that video yet. I made a video where I was just talking to camera and I was talking about what I plan to do for the rest of the year. I might release that ahead of time. No, actually I'll release it after this because this is about last Sunday's. And I was talking about having, I'll go out of camera shot and then I will cut this bit out rather than stopping the camera. I got this at the behest of somebody on Instagram. I was talking about having, buying cameras and then not being able to charge the batteries but taking a chance that they're working fine and selling them, and if anything goes wrong or the person says they don't charge up, just give them the money back. And he said, why don't you charge the batteries up first to check that they work properly? Well, yeah, that would make sense, but I don't have the chargers. Well, this is where this comes in handy. And he gave me the link to go to Amazon. And it's like, you can pull this out. Can you see that? To any size, so it fits any size battery. And there's 2 little prongs. They're only very small. You might not see them. You can see the little handles that move about. And it adjusts to the size of the battery. 18, might be 19 actually. 18 quid-ish on Amazon. Really good investment because I've been able to charge up all sorts of different batteries since I got it. I think I got it in like November. And yeah, brilliant. Loads of batteries that I had kicking about. I've charged them up, made sure they worked fine. Looked at the speed of charging and how much power they were drawing, so you can see that they're not damaged, the batteries. Charged them up fully and then sold them. So yeah, advantageous to have one of those. They're called Camcaddy 2. You don't want one of these really cheap ones. I mean, don't get me wrong, this is made in China, but it's made by a branded company that's gone to the effort of got, you know, proper design, proper electronics, and it works great. And I would recommend one of these. At the same time as the PowerShot, like I said, I charged that battery up with this. She also had some, and I've done really well with these lately, some wooden bowls. That one's teak, really nice. It needs a polish, but once they're polished and photographed well, lovely, and they sell easily. And then one of these ones where it's like all different types, but it's being hand turned. There you go. And they both say £2.50 on, and she gave me a bit of discount and sold them for £4. So out of the £6 I spent with her, Goblin Tea's made a working Canon camera, digital, with a charger, with a memory card and a battery, and the 2 bowls, £6. Very nice. Then a little stall a bit further along. I bought Half-Life 2 and the orange box, which has got Half-Life 2, 1 and 2 in it, and 2 other games. I always say it's the best value gaming. They're both Steam, so they probably will be the codes used. So I'm not sure whether they've got any value, but they cost me £1 between them. So you know, I'll take a chance on those, and we'll see what happens. Right, that was all of my local Carboot. Right, I'm going to go to Hull, or rather, I'm going to go through what I bought in Hull now. First things first, another one of these from the same guy. Just had one on the stall, £1. So, yeah, fine, no problem at all. I'm just doing it on the order I wrote this down. This is not the order I bought them in. It's the order I wrote it down. This sad thing, it's literally for people who have seasonal affective disorder. Really big light. It's a tube rather than LEDs. It's a bit old. The packaging is really dirty and scuffed, like it's been kept in somebody's pig shed or something, cow shed. It says you should have it 120 minutes at 60 centimetres, or 60 minutes at 40 centimetres, or 30 minutes at 20 centimetres. Now again, 20 centimetres away from this, you won't be able to see anything for the rest of the day. I've turned it on, it's really bright. It's brand new in the pack, in its bubble, in its polystyrene, in its bag, with its fresh, new, clean everything, with the manual. As I said, the outside's a bit rough, but I don't care. I'm going to sell it as brand new, or rather, new in the box. That cost me £8. They've been going for up to 50, so quite pleased with that. And Robert's Pillow Talk speaker. This looks, again, another one where it's either been used once or twice and then put back in the box, or not being used at all, and there's an instruction card with it, and the box is a bit battered, you know, as you can see. So that will be sold as unused, I think. I got a nice... are these all in the same line? No. Yes. No. I'll do these first. Xbox mug with its instruction, with its tag, and an Xbox hanger. And this one says £2 on it. I said, would you do both of them for £2? And she says yes. So that was quite nice. Both of them are unused, clean, tidy. Not sure what they're worth, but you know. And then BT phone on its base, and then another base and another charger for obviously another handset. But she didn't have the other handset, so I just give her £2 and she was alright with that. She wanted, I think she wanted a £5 to start. I said, do you have the other handset? I'll happily give you a £5 if you've got another handset. Oh no. I said, well, a couple of quid then. She was reluctant, but then she said, yeah, alright. Right, did I show you the Sony alarm clock? If I didn't, I'll do it now. This was the first thing I saw when I went to a clearance guy's stall. Sony alarm clock. It's a dream machine, but it's just the radio version. I've tested it, it works great. I tuned it in and all that, but it does need a 203 toot for the memory, so that, you know, if there's a power shortage, it turns off. It needs resetting. With a battery in it, it doesn't need resetting. So I will put a fresh battery in that. and that cost £1. And then the same stall, there was this box, and this was in the £3 an item box. And £3 an item. Okay, I'll have a look through it. There is in there. There's a manual. There's the charging. There's the dock base, the AV cable, the data cable, the manual, and obviously the camera. And when I turned it on, no, once I charged it up, I looked in the battery in compartment, and there's a proper Finepix battery, a proper Fuji battery. I get that out. Fujifilm NP 40. And that's a tenner's worth if this doesn't work. Get it in the right way around here. So there's your tenner. So my money's safe at £3, but it also has an XD picture card, and it's a 256 megabyte one. So that's about 15 quid's worth. So there's 25 quid's worth if it doesn't work. But I charged it up and it's working great. Although the battery says it's flat now. It's gone off. There you go. So I'll probably sell this as a bundle, because otherwise I won't be able to get rid of the docking part and stuff. But obviously I want the same money as if I was to sell the 3 parts separately. There's the camera, all the wires and docking charges and charger, and then there's the battery and the card. It's difficult to get as much money for just the camera and the bits. I'm going to look for 45 quid. Now other people have sold them for like 37, other people have sold them for 24. Prices are all over the place for these. And then somebody's trying to get like 180 for the black version. This is a nice smooth camera, easily pocketable, good size. I think they're 12 megapixel. I'm not certain of that. No, it's only 5.1 megapixel. So it might be worth splitting it, I don't know. I've got a feeling that nobody's going to be spending 45 quid on a 5.1 megapixel camera. But I can sell the camera separately with a battery. I can sell the card, I can sell the charger separately. So, you know, without selling the camera, I could get £45 back, no problem at all. Right, I've done the Xbox mug. Oh, same stall. £1 for a Costa coffee. It's the ceramic insulated mug. It's got a little hole there where the insulation is and a little stopper for it. And then a rubber case top, really clean, never been used. £1. Well, these are going for anywhere up to 20. So that's what I'll try. I've got a feeling I'll probably give a discount and only sell it for 15. That's fine. It cost £1. And then one of these as well. If you've ever seen one of these, it's great. In fact, I can't get at the socket. There's a socket down here, but there's a big pile of Hot Wires, Stratego, and now Guitar Hero in front of it, so I won't bother. It's LED, kids light. Well, it's not kids really. This is a Philips Living Colours uplighter. It sort of sits at an angle like that on tables or whatever. Uplights the wall in any colour you like, because it's got like a little on button which is touch sensitive. You can run your finger back and forward. You see the dark blue there? It runs through red, orange, yellow, green, purple. And it sort of you run your finger back and forward and the colour changes. Well, I did actually bid on one for £6. Didn't get it. I was bid out of it by one person, and so I went to about £6.20 plus postage. That was after I bought this one for £1, because I looked them up and they were going for like £20 by it now. So that's another £20 item from the same stall as the camera and the Costa mug. And then the Living Colours. So I spent I spent £6 with that guy, and because I got the remote, this one as well. So £6 for 40, 55, about 95 quid's worth of gear. Possibly a little bit more, depends on if I split up those parts from the camera, I might even get £60, don't know. Yeah, that was nice. What else? I've got one other thing. No, I've got two other things. I've got a Let Them Swing mug. Another one where I've just spied where it was because I've forgotten it was there. It's on the floor over there. As long as it's not damaged, I'll show you it. I'll show you it anyway. Another one where I'm going to cut a bit out. I keep saying I'm not going to cut bits out. I'm trying to do a video where I'm not editing. Yeah, this one's a bit unusual. I got this on the stall opposite where I got the guy with all the clearance gear. This is a mug from foreign. As far as I know, it's from Japan. Born of Harlesden Limited, and there's a design, a registered design. It's called Let Them Swing. And if you look, it's a bit on the fruity side. There's a lady on the front of it with movable breasticles. There you go. Anyway, I said to the lady, how much do you want for this? And she says 50p. Yeah, thank you very much. This one's anywhere up to 20 quid, surprisingly. I give it a good clean, inside and out, because the inside's a bit dusty. It's never been drunk out or bad look of it. Or either not in a long time. It's not really very drink worthy. It's a novelty. I'm sure people have drunk out of them, and there's this very small chipping away in the thing there, but it should still fetch good money, that for 50p. And yeah, that leaves my last purchase. I was wandering around and I'd spent plenty. Probably 50 odd quid. I know it sounds like an awful lot, but it's an awful lot of gear for 50 quid. And at this stage, I'm looking at possibly 300 quid's worth back. So it wasn't bad, really. Good money for the amount I spent. And then I saw this on the stall. Well, I went to a guy's stall and he had these photo albums full of postcards. And I saw Amanda's video on postcards and I was inspired. I'm not really trying to sell lots and lots of small items at the moment. So I won't be selling them, well, I'll sell some individually, but I'll sell some in bundles. I spoke to the guy and he says the best bet is to bundle them. He was a clearance guy, but mostly clearing antiques and things. And he has a stand in York in the summer. York Carboot is very good for the antiques trade. A lot of it's at retail price though. And he said that this is just clearing the stuff I don't want to take there, you know. Just junk really. Anyway, he had these Each album's got like 40 or 50 leaves, and each leaf has got 2 on one side, 2 on the other. And some of them are very old and some of them aren't, you know. Some of them are real photo postcards and some of them are just prints and the colour prints from like the 70s and stuff, but some of them are very old and birthday cards and New Year's cards and old prints of places and cars, lots and lots of architecture, old cars, all over the shop. So I said to him, what do you want? Because I mean, I don't want to be going through it and picking them out and saying 50p each and all that. And he's like, no, I'm not interested in that sort of thing. He says, I'm looking for a tenner an album. So there's one there with just as many, if not more. There's more in that one, I think. As I say, a lot of them are just colour prints, but there's some really nice older ones in there, and there's some like saucy postcards from the seaside postcards, you know, that are actually quite collectible. I've sold saucy postcards before. The ones with the like funny like slogans on the front or a joke, you know, the nudist camp ones and all that. There's loads of those in there. And then another one. A lot of this one's got art in. But they have things like this, which is a love card and Christmas cards, tiny little Christmas cards from when they first started giving people cards. And they've got things like remembrance cards from the First World War. I can't find them all right now, but yeah, and there's still a lot of black and white architectural cards, you know, and sold in museums type cards. There's those, and then there's another one, and that's basically more of the same, black and white cards. So there's 4 albums, and then he says, oh yeah, and I've got that bag on the floor there, and they're all just laid out on the puffy in front of the sofa at the moment. All I can say is there's another 500 there. So each one of these has got maybe 200 in, so that's 800, and there's another 500 there, so that's like 1300 cards. And I said to him, I'll just give you what I've got left, but it's not like, you know, 10 quid a piece. So I looked through my wallet and I had £30.50 left. So I said, it's £30.50. He says, I'm not going to take you 50p off you, mate. So I got that and a carrier bag full with another 500 in, and I've been through it, and it's 50-50. Sort of the photographic black and white and a few sepia, like photographic ones, and then colour ones with, and each of those piles is 50-50 whether it's written on the back or not. I don't know whether it makes a difference with the real photo postcards. I don't think it does, but it does on things like the saucy joke postcards. They're worth more if they're blank. And then there was a big pile, well no, there was a pile, out of the 500 there's a pile of about 20 which are standout, unusual, real photos. There's a couple from Japan. One's like what looks like a corporate photograph from everybody in the company stood in like a row, you know. And another one which looks like a military, you know, I'm in my military outfit before I go to the war photograph. I couldn't tell you what it says because it's like printed in Japanese. And yeah, a couple of unusual photographs. There's a nice photograph of a car which will sell on its own. And then there's like loads of sets of things from art exhibitions where people have bought 10 of the same, or 10 different postcards, the same design style, you know, same artist. So yes, I'll bundle them up. There's people selling bundles of 10, 15 RP, which is real photo postcards together. You know, I know there's specialists doing it, and they can probably pick through those and say this one's worth £6, this one's worth £13. I'm not going to be that bothered to do that. I will take photos of them, put an overlay on them so that they can't be copied, because I'll take nice big photos of them in good condition, and try to sell them in tens or something. It's quite a lot of work sorting them into like categories and like choices of things like that. I mean, you know, you choose all the ones from York, or all the ones with like architecture in, or all the ones from like Venice, or all the ones from Italy or something like that. There's plenty of those. There's lots of Michelangelo's, photographs, RP, real photos of the artworks in Italy as postcards. But yeah, that's it. Bloody hell, I've been at it another 10 minutes. That makes 20 plus 20 plus 10, 50 minutes or so, even if I cut out the bits that I don't really like. So I'm going to say, if you've enjoyed this stuff, you know, subscribe and like and all that good stuff that YouTube likes. All that stuff YouTube likes, I'm sure eBay would love it. But it's not going to affect my viewers on eBay.